Good morning and welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey, and today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety tool, and they're giving you guys a free 14-day trial at aura.com/chatsports. We'll tell you more about what you get with that free trial later on in today's show, but we begin today with the latest on Deshaun Watson, as Rusty Hardin, Watson's lawyer, says the NFL has concluded its investigation. They had a multi-day interview, 4 days worth, the NFL with Deshaun Watson. They met over 4 days, I should say. And that investigation concluded. The interviews are over, which means, in theory, a decision should be coming on a potential suspension for the new Browns quarterback at some point in the very near future. Now, Watson's team initially had said they thought the initial decision, then potentially some appeals and whatnot, would be done in June, and we are now in June, so the timing continues to track here pretty well. I will make note, by the way, Watson now faces 23 sexual assault lawsuits, and a 24th is also expected to come in the near future. So, NFL investigation wrapping up. Criminal cases appear to be over, and the civil suits are just getting underway. Here's what Hardin recently said, quote, "I think now that it's over, I can say he subjected himself to 4 days of questioning by very professional, polite, intense, prepared former sexual assault prosecutors, and it's just like an interview. There are no rules. They were free to ask any question, and we did not refuse to answer any questions. I'm fully prepared, and I've always assumed that we're probably going to disagree with the conclusion by the NFL. On the other hand, I will say without reservation, they have intentionally investigated." I don't really know what intentionally investigated means. Like, what are you not intentionally? Like, only way to do it, right? This does, however, sound like a decision is coming. And at minimum, Hardin and the Watson camp have prepared themselves for the possibility of a suspension. That's what the "we disagree with the findings" means when he says that. Regardless of what the NFL's decision actually is, it is going to be criticized. I have no doubts about that. If it's a multi-game suspension, wasn't fair to Watson. Short suspension or even a long suspension, it's not short enough. We know that the NFL and I call it a crapshoot of investigations, given that there's no real consistency with how they make their disciplinary procedures in cases like this one. It's going to be criticized, and everyone, or at least some people, will be unhappy. But I want you guys to make your predictions here. And we'll come back to some more discussion around Watson, how potential suspension could impact the Browns. But I want you to predict, how many games will Deshaun Watson be suspended? Not how many he should, but will. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment. That's where this question is, and answer 0 to whatever the number is. How many games will Watson be suspended? The Browns' first 10 games, and Sam in my ear was like, 17 games. I'm like, could be more than that, though. Could be more than a year-long suspension. Sam, you never know. It's the NFL. If it is less than 10 or equal to 10, these are the games Watson could end up missing. And it is noteworthy that there's, as loaded as the AFC is, notable games: Steelers in Week 3, Chargers Week 5, Patriots Week 6, Ravens Week 7, Bengals Week 8. There could be some notable games missed by Deshaun Watson. And I know many have said, the Browns are holding on to Baker Mayfield in case Watson gets suspended. Two problems there. A, Baker doesn't want to be in Cleveland anymore. That's not going to happen. And B, Jacoby Brissett was signed for this exact reason. He was brought in to be the insurance in the event Deshaun Watson gets suspended. Whenever the Browns cut or trade Baker Mayfield, if Watson gets suspended, it's Brissett's time to take over and be the short-term starter in Cleveland. We don't know exactly when the decision will be made for Deshaun Watson and the NFL, and of course, there's always the potential appeals process as well. We'll wait and see, but I do think a decision is going to come soon for Watson and for the NFL. Today's show is protected and powered by Aura. You do more online than ever, and Aura helps keep you safe with financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security because, let's be honest, we keep all of our passwords on our phone and laptop, and we hit remember password because we don't want to have to remember what it actually is. We want the computer to do it for us. Well, if your information gets compromised, then you're in trouble. That is why Aura is hooking you guys up with a free 14-day trial at aura.com/chatsports. I'll make sure that link is in both the comment section and in the description. Free 14-day trial, cancel at any time. Get all-in-one digital safety with Aura for you or your entire family at aura.com/chatsports. Over to Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, as there's a report out there. Russell Wilson wants 5 years, $250 million. Not so fast, my friends. The initial reporter there, Mike Kliss, that's how you pronounce his last name. Thank you, Sammy. It is confirmed. Of a Denver Broncos beat writer. That was what he said. Well, he has backtracked and is now angry that people are reporting what he said, which is how it works. Said he misspoke. There are no talks, and this was a presumption that this is the assumed likely value of what Russell Wilson wants. Which actually probably does sound about right, by the way. So here's my question for you. Is Russell Wilson worth $50 million per year? That is how the math works out of $250 over 5. Is he worth that price tag? Y for yes and for no, sound off in the comments section. Now you see, Denver's got a problem here. Well, maybe it's not a problem because they actually have a good quarterback for the first time in years. They got to pay Wilson pretty much whatever he wants. Unless they want to let him hit the final year of his contract next year, their options are pay him and actually likely bring his cap hit down this upcoming year, although I'm not sure the 5-year number is actually all that accurate. Wilson has liked to go shorter deals overall. But Denver has no viable options. They gave up everything to acquire Russell Wilson. As we saw with Seattle and Jamal Adams, you trade for a big name, you typically end up paying them. Now, Wilson is coming off a bit of a down year. Injuries a factor in that. A new offense probably so as well. Consistently has been awesome, though, in his time in the NFL. With Wilson now in Denver, the expectation is that Denver is going to be a real playoff team. The $50 million price tag is the new going rate for a franchise QB, a veteran one like Aaron Rodgers. That Mahomes deal, by the way, continues to look more and more like a steal. Frankly, it's bad agency work to only get that amount of money on a 10-year deal. But that $50 million price tag, it's not that outlandish. Remember, the longer you go years-wise, the more expensive it becomes because of the way you can structure a deal. Now, the real number that matters is guaranteed money. Aaron Rodgers has $150 million plus and change. Josh Allen got $150, and Deshaun Watson messed up everything, well, at least for NFL ownership, by getting $230 million, a fully guaranteed deal. So I don't know if Wilson's really going to get $50 million per year. Maybe he settles and gets like 47 or 48, which is still a lot of money and is a big-time deal. And I will make this note, by the way, as relates specifically to Denver. Remember, ownership's in a trust right now, probably going to be sold very soon. I would wonder if that type of quarterback contract, if it actually has to happen after ownership gets sold because it is such a massive deal. We keep you guys updated with everything going on around the NFL here at NFL Daily. And we'll be live again on Monday. Me, your boy Tom Downey, back again with the latest NFL news. We'll do some mailbags and some segments. If you want to join us for our live shows, it's very simple. Hit that big red button and subscribe today at youtube.com/chatsportstv. Let's go to Rob Gronkowski now. As the report from the Tampa Bay Times that the Bucs remain, quote-unquote, optimistic Gronk will elect to play this upcoming season. Now, Gronk has not said much about his future. I will make note that Gronk is 33 years old now. His body has taken a beating. I mean, he already retired once, after all. And my expectation for a long time now has been he will either play for the Bucs and with Brady for one more year, or retire, and maybe at that point call it a career. We'll spend some more time on this and how it could impact the Bucs. But first, Will Gronk play this year for the Bucs? Those are, I think, the only options here. So type in P for he's going to play one more year, run it back with Brady, try to win another title because Brady's a freak, or R for retire and call it a career for now, at least. Now, Gronk, of course, did not play in 2019. He was retired that season. Strangely enough, his 2021 campaign was the best the past 4 years. Go back to the last 4 seasons, it's also still his best. A very good point, however, was raised by the Tampa Bay Times, and I want to spend some good time on this part. Given that level of production, 800 receiving yards last season, isn't Gronk going to be really expensive, even on a one-year deal? Because the tight end market in general is very low. Gronk was making around $10, $11 million the past couple seasons. That market has gone up. You've got guys like David Njoku. You've got guys like Hunter Henry, like Jonnu Smith, who aren't that productive, relatively speaking. 800 yards is not something those players hit. Dallas Goedert only hit there this past year. So you're talking about having to pay Gronk 1 year, probably at least $12 million, right? Maybe it approaches 13 or even beyond that because that is the market for players of Gronk's caliber. I mean, look, Zach Ertz probably your baseline there. If Gronk isn't at least a top 10, if not top 5, highest paid tight end in the event he decides to play this year, that would indicate to me he took far less money. Now, the Bucs will be creative with their structure. They'll do void years, so it's not a 1 year, $10 million cap hit. But I think if Gronk does play this upcoming season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's going to command quite a bit of money, which helps, by the way, that Brady, strangely enough, isn't actually making very much money for Tampa this season.